Today we've got the first look at the Galaxy Z Fold 7 in the new blue shadow color, as well as some great news on its pricing, so hit subscribe now and we'll get right into it. So first up, for anyone that missed it, the Galaxy Z Fold 7 is now available to reserve, and best of all, it's completely free to do. You'll receive $50 free Samsung credit, 3 times Samsung reward points, and even a chance to win $5,000 just by putting in your name and email address. So if you're even considering the Z Fold 7, the Flip 7, or the new Galaxy Watch, then I highly recommend you do that now by clicking the link down in the description below or the card in the top right corner. Now next up, we've got great news on pricing, and the official launch is of course on the 9th of July, and there have been many reports of a price increase this year. But Roland Quant, who is often very accurate with these last-minute leaks, has reported that his European sources have actually revealed that there's going to be no price increase for the Z Fold 7 in Europe, and it's likely going to start at €1,999, and this likely means that the USA price is also going to stay the same as last year, and the Z Flip 7 could also be €100 or $100 cheaper. Next up, we've had a tweet from Amir, and he says that the Fold 7 is going to be the first fold to be water and dust resistant. He says it's going to be the lightest foldable available worldwide, as well as being the thinnest foldable worldwide, which of course are some very big claims. Now, I've not seen any of his leaks before, so I can't comment on his credibility, but we do have many sources advising that the Fold 7 is going to have a new form factor, and it's going to be much thinner than last year, similar to the Fold 6 SE. Now, one trade-off to this could unfortunately be the lack of an S Pen, as reports suggest that the digitizer was removed as part of this trimming down on the Fold 7, and of course the SE also didn't support an S Pen, but according to Panda Flash Pro, there may be different S Pen technology used in the S phones next year, so there's also a possibility that we'll see that here, but personally I wouldn't worry too much until we hear it from Samsung themselves. Of course, one of the biggest upgrades to the Z Fold 7 is the introduction of a 200 megapixel primary camera that many fans have been wanting for some time, and it's great to see that Samsung have finally listened. Now, this will of course improve photo and video with a better sensor, and the only trade-off here is a slightly larger camera module than last year. And another huge upgrade is going to be on the internal display, and thanks to a new hinge design on top of their new ultra-thin glass, the creasing marks that appear in the center of the display have been greatly reduced, and its durability is now much better as well, allowing it to withstand even more folds than its predecessor, which could already withstand 200,000 folds. Now next up, we had the marketing renders leaked for the new Z Fold 7 that not only gave us a full look at the design, but they also gave us the new color options, and it's going to be coming in silver shadow, jet black, and a new blue shadow. Now unfortunately, I can't show you the renders as this gets my video taken down from Samsung, but I've created these 3D renders based on them to give you a good look in these 3D animations rather than 2D photos, as well as showing you what it's going to look like in the hand. Now, as you can see, the main changes are how much thinner the device is in comparison to last year. We've also got a different form factor overall. The camera module is also a little bit larger, and when it comes to the lenses, they look more like the S phones rather than last year's Fold, and I have to say I prefer it. Now, another change is that the under-panel camera on the inside display has been removed in favor of a punch hole camera to give you that better quality selfies from it, and personally I think the Z Fold 7 is becoming a much more well-rounded device now. Now, of course, official launch is on the 9th of July, and while leaks and rumors tend to be very accurate at this stage, nothing is confirmed until it comes from Samsung themselves. But for those excited, we're now going to run through the expected specs, design, and the pricing to help you guys decide if it is going to be worth the wait. So hit subscribe now and we'll get right into it. So with the Galaxy Z Fold 7, we get an 8.2-inch foldable 120Hz AMOLED display, and it's brighter and more accurate, as well as being protected by Samsung's new ultra-thin glass that adds massive improvements to the creasing in the center of the display. We get the usual HD resolution along with some trimmed down bezels and a full-screen display. For the external display, it's a full-screen 6.5-inch 120Hz dynamic AMOLED display. Again, we get improvements to brightness as well as color accuracy, and it's also going to be even wider than its predecessor, which is great news to hear. The Z Fold 7 is also much slimmer than its predecessor, but unfortunately, as part of these changes, we no longer get the S Pen support. When it comes to cameras, we get a 10 megapixel punch hole selfie camera on the front, along with a 4 megapixel camera on the internal display. And then over on the rear, it's a triple camera setup with a 200 megapixel primary camera, a 12 megapixel ultra-wide camera, and then a 10 megapixel telephoto with 3x optical zoom, so it's great that we finally see a better primary camera. Now it's going to be powered by the Snapdragon 8 Elite, although they may actually use the 7-core version for better thermal performance, and it's coming with 16GB of RAM and up to 1TB of storage, which will be UFS 4. It's coming with a 4400 mAh battery, and unfortunately there's going to be no upgrades to the fast charging, but we will see wireless and reverse wireless charging. And we're getting 5G, Bluetooth 5.4, Wi-Fi 7 and NFC support. And the phone is going to ship with One UI 7 based on Android 15. The phone is launching on the 9th of July, and it's expected to start from around $1,900, and it's going to be around £1,800 for the UK. So overall, the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 7 is looking like a great folding phone from Samsung. Instead of redesigning it just to deliver something new, they've instead focused on refining it, keeping things that the people like and improving on the things that people don't like. With a better internal display and a 200 megapixel primary camera, I think this makes it quite a big jump up from last year, and of course we also get a better chipset to match. Now one thing that is still unknown at the moment is the pricing structure for Galaxy AI. While it's currently free, Samsung have made it very clear that it's going to be a paid subscription in the future. A new report suggests that the pricing is going to be revealed in Q3 of this year, which is great that we'll finally know the pricing of the plan and what's included for free and what isn't. But the trouble is, if you're buying a new phone now, then you don't know what the future's going to hold. But I'm also hoping with a new device like the Fold 7 or the upcoming S26 next year, that they will offer some sort of free trial for Galaxy AI. But it's definitely something that you may want to consider if you're buying a phone now. Now of course, Samsung are launching the Z Fold 7 on the 9th of July, and it's only around the corner now. And then finally, we'll have everything confirmed by Samsung themselves. But if any more leaks or information come in the meantime, I'm going to be sharing it straight away. So make sure you subscribe so you don't miss a thing in the future.